So first of all, the shiur is Leilul Nishmat Shlomo ben Biti and my father Gedalia Morel ben Matilda. Also, if you have any questions, you can email us at rabbigaon@gmail.com. You can look at our website. We both have a website, Yeshiva, Etzion.com, and on YouTube, Torah Anytime, and some other places like that. We haven't been around because some technical issues, but we're trying to get over it. So if the voice quality is not that great, at least let's hope the content is going to be better. So that's Parashat Be'alotcha. I don't know. The more I learn the parashiot, the more I realize I don't know I don't know anything, because every time there's so much stuff to learn. There's so many things to learn, so many ideas, so many concepts. So after we have this whole last week's parasha, we had the whole thing with the Nesiim, bringing their korban and the sacrifice and the gifts to the Mishkan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu encouraged, so-called, and strengthened a little bit the spirit of Aharon, because Aharon feels a little down. You have to understand who Aharon was. It was a very tragic figure. I mean, in terms of, and excuse me for my talking like this, I bit my tongue and it's killing me. And he gives him a very central assignment, which is to light, lehadlik ulehitiv et hanerot, to light and to take care of the candles on the menorah. Aharon every single day lit the menorah, and as the pasuk says, "Vayas ken Aharon el mul pnei hamenorah, ha'ela nerotea ka'asher tziva Hashem et Moshe." So he does so every single day, and it says, of course, there's so many things just in this pasuk. What does it mean, el mul pnei hamenorah? I didn't know the menorah has panim, and of course the Rambam talks about panim in different places. So in that description of the menorah, of the mitzvah of lighting the candles, the Torah repeats and says over again the ma'aseh menorah, whatever was involved in the menorah. And it says, V'zeh ma'aseh menorah, and this is what the menorah was all about. Important, miksha zahav ad yerecha. Oh, again, so many things to do here. Miksha zahav ad yerecha, Dafka he uses the word yerech. I'm not going to get into this now. Miksha achat, one solid piece, all the way, the whole thing. Ad pircha miksha hi k'mareh asher ira Hashem et Moshe ken asa et menorah. Wait a minute, one second, I don't understand. Wait a minute. Who built the menorah? Who made the menorah? I thought Moshe made it. But Aaron made another menorah. I know you got me there. Is there a typo or something? How is it possible? Well, there are two menorahs. Every day they would melt it down, remelt and remake it again. Very silicon. So, and Bichlal altogether, what's the connection of this pasuk that we had to the action of lighting the menorah? It seems like this pasuk was taken from its original place, or its more fitting place, from the parts of the parashiot that talk about making the utensils for the Mishkan itself. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be here. And it says here also, here, but when we talk about commanding lighting the menorah, here it's talking about how he actually does it. And why did the Torah see to repeat this all over again alongside that commandment of lighting the menorah? It just does not make sense. Something doesn't flow right in this whole story of the menorah. Something doesn't flow right. Of course, there's a lot that we can learn about this, about our times. As a whole, and as individuals. Rashi comes and explains, and it says, and I'm quoting, "Sheher'au HaKadosh Baruch Hu be'etzba lifri shenitkasha ba." HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed exactly Aharon, I guess, what to do, because he had some difficulties with this. I guess Aharon, I don't know, maybe it was like learning disabled. I don't know. It's very weird. But nitkasha ba, it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed it to him. And it says, according to this, the Torah goes back and commends and gives us the mitzvah of making the menorah in order to really show us how complex that the whole ordeal is. How it's not a simple thing. So because it was so unique and so difficult, so complex, the Torah said it again. There is a sefer. The sefer is called Mei Marom. On Parashat Ba'alotcha, he says that Maaseh menorah nismach leMaaseh hadlakat nerotea. The whole story about building the menorah was said again here in proximity to the story of lighting the candles of the menorah to show us that Aharon, and I'm quoting, bekoach hadlakato et menorah, with the intensity that he did and what he created by lighting the menorah, chidesh et yetzirata shel hamenorah, which is very important to understand. Chidesh et yetzirata, he recreated so-called the menorah just by lighting it. In other words, it was like, let's say to a certain extent, maybe like an item that you had somewhere in your garage and you haven't driven it, and all of a sudden you put the gas in, and the car is like walking into life. He made it come alive. And it's a very important point to pay attention, and that was Shivcho and Shivcho shel Aaron, and the greatness of Aaron, and we need to again pay attention to this. Shelo shina v'hashlim et retzono shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He didn't change anything, and he completed exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu had asked him to do. Very important. According to this concept, the Torah comes to emphasize and comes to teach us something here that is phenomenally important. That the menorah was created every single day anew. In other words, listen, to a certain extent there is something to that. If you take things for granted, they become old. If they become old, you don't want them anymore. So every day there was something with Aharon that he did. And how did he do so? By making the lighting of the menorah with such excitement and such sense of renewity that it was an important essence in creating the menorah. The whole purpose of the menorah was to light it, and he did so with such a thing. It was like finishing the action of lighting the menorah. Can you put the AC on? So that explanation is fits beautifully, Rabotai, with the essence of what we have as an example to what we should do in what we call Avodat Hashem. In our avodah towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To many aspects, if we make the Mishkan inside of us, cleanse ourselves to become a dwelling place for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there is a certain part of each and every one of us that is also Aharon HaKohen. And it's very important, especially nowadays. I see many people are actually falling down. This is the time that people are declining in the spiritual work. Why? Okay, let's see. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, up. After that, a little break, boom, Chanukah. Terrific. A little break, Purim, excitement. Little break, month in between, Pesach. Pesach, a whole week, celebration, counting the Omer every single day. There's a continuity between Pesach, 50 days to Shavuot, we receive the Torah. And now what? Now there is a decline. We have Sivan, Tammuz, Av, Elul, basically 4 months. A third of the year we are going down. And then we're going down, how are we going to stand in front of Rosh Hashanah? We need to understand that. Every single day you should come with a certain excitement. as it says here. And this is a very fundamental point in Avodat Hashem, so much that even the Rambam addresses this point. The Rambam addresses this point and says at the end of Halachot Lulav, he brings maybe one of the most fundamental points in Avodat Hashem, and it's called the Simcha, the joy. שיעשה אדם בעשיית המצווה באהבת האל שציווה בהם. When you're doing mitzvot, you should rejoice. שש אנוכי על אמרתך כמוצא שלל רב. I am rejoicing on your words as I found a great treasure. If I'm going to tell you, guys, every single day you're going to come to Bet Medrash, each and every one of you has like, the beers, they have like they used to have like a tin can like this, with a sight, comes like this close, you don't know what it is, you open, sight of diamonds, you have a whole, every single day you come, Habibi, we're going to have people lining up from here to Alaska and back. And what is diamonds? Pressurized carbon. I found a great deal of a treasure. You should be rejoicing. Akadosh Baruch Hu tell me I can daven, I can talk to Akadosh Baruch Hu. I can talk to Akadosh Baruch Hu. I'm running while I'm talking to him. Let's say you are with somebody you really love, your beloved wife. Right? You're in the middle of telling her, honey, how much I love you, how dear you are to me. Akol tov yafeh. All of a sudden, excuse me 1 second, let me just take this. Yes, hello. You got to do this in the middle of something. So I'm about to propose to you. 1 second, let me just take this. I'll give you the ring in a second. Just wait a minute. Let me just take this. Yes. Good. Buy, sell. You're not going to do that. That's why I feel like breaking your phones. When I'm talking, teaching you Torah, you're playing on your phones. This is a tremendous simcha, joy, that you have in doing a mitzvot. Al achat kama v'chama v'chama u'mechupelet. Limud HaTorah. When a person learns Torah, I told you, we say, Kedusha, Brichu, Ve'oraita, Chadu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the Torah is one thing. When you are osek b'divrei Torah, when you're learning Torah, you are dealing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Torah is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are dwelling into the inner parts of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The most intimate parts of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is core, the Torah. And according to this, each one to his own. I mean, in terms of how much can you make out of it. Some people, Rabbi Akiva was able to darshan on Kutzos Shel Yud, would make drashot on that. Okay, so but do you understand what it means? You don't know what it means. If you had anything to do ever with security clearances, you'll understand the prestige that there are in security clearances as well. In Israel, they have Shamur, which is like, then they have Sodi Beyoter, and so on and so forth. And then the top level on security clearances is Shutaf Sod, a partner in a secret. That's the highest level of security clearance you can have in Israel. Shutaf Sod. And there's only a very few people in very specific jobs have this kind of a clearance. Even certain ministers don't have this clearance. This is the soda Kadosh Baruch Hu is giving you, the Torah. He gives you reshut. And he said, Rebbeinu Shalom, tishma, אין לי זמן בשבילך, I gotta go make a dollar. מה, אתם השתגעתם? Why aren't you happy to come and learn? Why aren't you happy to put feeling on? Everything for you is a burden. And that's what the Rambam says. The Rambam says, when a person, השמחה שישמח אדם בעשיית המצווה, the joy that a person is going to rejoice in doing the mitzvot, ובאהבת האל שציווה בהם, you see that if you are rejoicing in the mitzvot, it's also an aspect of how much you love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Don't tell me you care about HaKadosh Baruch Hu when you don't want to do His mitzvot. You're running away any possible way. That's why. Why are you doing loopholes? Why are you doing for loop? Why don't you do the right thing? Do the right thing. Do it right because you love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It says, Rambam tells you, Avodah Gdolai. That is a very high level in Avodat Hashem. V'kol hamonea atzmo misimcha zu, and anybody who prevents himself from this kind of a joy, ראוי להיפרע ממנו. It deserves, let's put this nicely, a great whacking. ראוי להיפרע, in other words, get rid of him. A person who prevents himself this joy. Why? Because the lack of joy would bring eventually lack of love. I mean, if there is not joy even in a father and his son, eventually he's not going to love his son. So therefore it's the achrayut, the obligation of the son to give his father something to rejoice on. Of course, we are talking about, if the father is Pablo Escobar, and don't the son be Pablo Escobar 2.0 or Noriega, right? Talking about giving your father a substantial nachat. It's a sign that you love him, not talking now. So now, shene'emar, because it says, תחת אשר לא עבדת את השם אלוקיך בשמחה ובטוב לבב. All these problems will come to you not because of anything, but rather because you did not worship God with joy and a good heart. A good heart is a derivative of joy. Sameach, I'm happy. Continues the Magid Mishneh on the words of the Rambam. It says, which is really a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to remember, a very important point. Ve'ikar hadavar, and the essence of it, she'en ra'ui lo la'adam la'asot ha'mitzvah mitzad she'en chova alav. You are obligated not to do so, or it's a need for a person not to feel obligated to do the mitzvah. Ve'u mukhrach ve'anutz, and he's forced and he has to. אלא חייב לעשותן והוא שמח בעשותן. You have to do so and you are happy in doing it. You're happy doing the mitzvot. ויעשה הטוב מצד שהוא טוב. And you're going to do good because that's the good thing to do. You're going to do what is right because it's the right thing to do. ויבחר באמת מצד שהוא אמת. And you should select the truth because it is the truth. You have to choose the truth. ויקל בעיניו תורכן ויבין כי לכך נוצר לשמש את קונו. And you have to pay attention and you have to remind yourself all the time because that's why you came here to this world. You did not come to this world here to become anything else besides servant of Hashem. To be a servant of Hashem. And so therefore you see that the spiritual challenge to light the menorah is to recreate it again. To deal with the mundane, with the routine of every single day, of lighting the menorah and so on and so forth. By doing so, you are elevating the mitzvah as you accepted it today, as it's like the first time you did it. And we already said this beforehand, that that's why a person, his attitude should be that every day you should rejoice on learning Torah as he received it today from Sinai. And so is to any other mitzvah. And that ability to rejoice in the mitzvah, of course, you need to learn. You need to learn what it's all about. You need to work on it. You need to learn it. You can't be, and what we say, en am haaretz chasid. You can't be a pious person and to be ignorant. You have to learn. You have to learn. So when you don't learn, not only you become ignorant and quite dumb, you're also affecting your ability to serve God appropriately. You're basically shooting yourself in the leg. You're disabling yourself spiritually. You must learn. Now you might understand why Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Because the whole kiyum of the mitzvot and the kiyum of the world depends on the first stage of learning. If you're not learning, Habibi, you're not going to be the mikayim the mitzvot. I don't care how much IQ you have. Your IQ means absolutely nothing if you're not going to actually tap into learning and then into an action. That's a given. And by doing so, we need to understand that we need to rejuvenate and refresh the routine every day, not to fall into the grind, as they say, to add new things, to add another hidur, another aspect, another phase of doing something better, to reach perfection in Asiyat HaMitzvot as much as we can, every single day, to strive to do things better. Every day. And to me, it was miraculous. I mean, when I was, if I'll watch a documentary about Japanese craftsmen and stuff like this, those people who can do like unbelievable things, that the masterpieces is their ability to try to strive every day to become better, to do something better. I said, if we could only adapt that notion into Avodat Hashem, we will all look different. The whole world would look different. And it says that a person, and that's exactly what Aaron was doing. Every day he was creating a new spiritual experience. And Aaron always did that every single day. Even though he lived every single day, but the experience of lighting the menorah every day was unique, every day was different. If we're going to do so, if we're going to be serious about our Avodat Hashem, if we're going to be serious about our spiritual growth, the hidurim that we're going to get is going to give us that they want to do things better. It's going to make us strive to become better and better, because every day we want to add more and something new is something new. And that's exactly what the Rambam says, that's what a person needs to do. And you can't become apathic about doing a mitzvah. It's like, okay, I do the mitzvah, I don't care. I bought myself a pair of tefillin, I don't care, that's what it is. I got myself a shas, I learned this Rashi already, I learned this Gemara, and you know what, okay, I don't need to work on it, I already got the idea. I learned lachot basar bechalav, it's but I never need to do chazara on it, I already know that. That's wrong, that's not Avodat Hashem. The strive is that a person not only going to do the mitzvah, but also being osek b'mitzvah, is going to deal with it. In other words, is going to preoccupy and occupy himself with the mitzvah all the time, and all matters and aspects of that. To be complete, to be more polished, until the mitzvah is going to be so clear, like a crystal ball, that the light shines through that and it doesn't get distorted. That's exactly the level that Moshe Rabbeinu had reached, which is called Aspaklaria Merira. He was clear. There was no distortion, and the light, that's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke through Moshe, it was like HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke, because he did not distort it. He didn't have any self-tinting on the matter. He gave it clear. That's the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. That's what we should strive for. And don't tell me it's impossible for us to reach it, because it's possible for us to reach it. The reason why we don't reach it is very simple, because we don't want to. We want to talk to God like Moshe Rabbeinu did, not because we really care about God so much, because we're just curious to see what it was. We want people to talk about us. But Moshe Rabbeinu worked on himself. And this is also, in every single day, you have to strive, you have to make an effort to have a new light, hadlaka, lehadlik. Something refreshing, some chidush, some new concept, new idea. Whether it's you understand something today from halacha or the Gemara that you didn't understand yesterday, something new. That's why they say it's impossible. And Bet HaMidrash below chidush. You come to Bet HaMidrash, you always there's something new. You learn something new. But you need to understand that renewal and refreshing, it has to be done as Aaron did, by keeping the original order and staying loyal to what HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked us. You don't make a new menorah now with seven, with your own self-interpretation. Instead of being like this, I want it like that, I want it like this, I'm going, all kind of new designs. No. The item is the same, but the attitude towards it is new every day. That's something we need to remember. So on the concept of what we said, behalotcha, by lighting up, We should really say behadlikcha, when you light it. Lama beha'alotcha, when you lift it up. When you light the candles, you don't lift the candles. That's another something for us to learn. Chazal tells us in Masechet Shabbat, in Dav Chaf Aleph Amud Aleph, שתהיה שלהבת עולה מעליה. In other words, that you need to, when you light the candles, let's say this is the candles, right? You don't go like this and you leave it, you hold it like this, and then the fire comes up, the candle comes up. Me'alea, it needs to come up. So Baal HaTanya, hello Rebs, Baal HaTanya in Likutei Torah, on our Parashat, Dibur HaMatchil, Ra'iti Menorat Zohov, right? On the Psukim, Ner Hashem, Nishmat Adam, which is in Mishlei, Perek, Chav, Pasuk, Chav Zayin. It says, V'ner mitzvah, Ner mitzvah, V'torah. Ner mitzvah, V'torah. There's a beautiful pshatim on that. However, it says that Nishmat Adam is like a vessel, the Neshama of the Adam is like a vessel that has, we're about to say wine, that there is oil inside and there is a wick, which are the mitzvah, v'hatorah, and the Torah is the light that comes out of it. This is a beautiful pshat. Which is a beautiful pshat. In other words, we could think that in order to come up to somewhat of a conclusion on the value, the question that we have here, the moral question that we have here, should we wait for HaKadosh Baruch Hu should light our fire? You know? We say, come on, baby, light my fire. Should HaKadosh Baruch Hu light our fire? And He should open our eyes to the light of the Torah, right? Or it should be different. And it comes the Torah and tells us, no, you don't wait for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to light. He gave you the Torah. He gave you the Torah. Now it's beha'alotcha. When you're going to do so, to teach us, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu lit the candles. He lit the candles after Matan Torah. But the shalhevet, the fire from this point on, needs to go on by itself. You need to do so. If you wait for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be machzir you b'tshuva, it's not going to happen. If you're going to wait for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to teach you Torah, that's not going to happen. If you're going to wait for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give you some spiritual thing, that's not going to happen. You have to do the work yourself. You have to do the work yourself. And if we're going to look at this way, we could give a parallel that Matan Torah was the Hadlakat Haner, right? That's what Matan Torah was, lighting the fire, and after that, after we lit it, the Shalhevet, which is the Torah, needs to go on even with others. By itself, the Shalhevet, the desire of the person, should come from within by itself. Only then you remove it, by the way. That's what we do. Which is, Rabotai, is a very big thing. Now it's up to you. It's our responsibility. That's how we become partners with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this whole business of Tikkun Olam and so on and so forth. He gave it to us. He jump-started. It's our job to continue doing this. Now, are you partners? Are you good partners? Are you doing anything for the partnership? What are you going to say afterwards? You can't wait for him to do the job. You need to do so. You're feeling a little down? You need to fix it. You're feeling a little yeser avera coming into you? You need to fix it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to do it for you. Because we say, למקום שאדם רוצה ללכת, מוליכים אותו. הבא להיטהר, מסייעים בידו. הבא להיטהר. The person who comes to purify himself, they're not going to purify you mishamayim unless you want to. Unless you want to. So if you see yourself going down and down and down and down and down, it's because that's what you want. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame your mother, your father, your sixth grade teacher, your Rebbe, your mother-in-law. No, blame yourself. You have a choice. If you're going down, blame yourself. Oh, you know why I went off the derech? Because my Rebbe told me Gesundheit instead of Labriut. I don't know, something stupid. And that's why I went off the derech. Instead of saying to me, buongiorno, he said to me, sabach al-khair. Okay, that's why I mean, it's a stupid excuse, right? That's exactly why. It's a stupid excuse. You did it. Don't blame anybody else. You did it. It's your responsibility to bring the fire from within. Your responsibility to bring it. You have the Torah? Yes. You have the Neshama? Yes. You have the Kli? Yes. What's the problem? You don't have that things in you. Okay, so, yes, you got a problem. We always like to blame everybody else. The whole world, besides ourselves, we don't take responsibility. One of the signs of a mature person is assume responsibility. I screwed up. No malasot. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me try to learn not to do this again. That's it. I'm done. My fault, not my fault. Then David HaMelech, he was a leader. He said, okay, it was me. I'm a Kabul. You're right. He could have killed Natan HaNavi. He did. Say, always, okay, tshuva, I make tshuva, not a problem. But if your person always points out his fingers, oh, your fault, his fault, your fault. What are you doing? Auction over there in Tuna in Tsukiji Market in Japan? Well, yeah, 2,000, 3,000, what is it? Take responsibility for your action. Beha'alotcha, when you're going to lift it up. When you're going to lift it up, the light of the menorah will shine. Whatever comes from the light of the menorah, we get to it, we have some time, it's going to be a little late, but that's fine, who cares? The light will come when you're going to bring it up. The potential is there. You need to turn on the switch. You need to bring it up yourself. But you got to grow up. Become responsible. And that's why it says, Va'alotcha, that after HaKadosh Baruch Hu lit the candles, after Matan Torah, it has to go by itself. In other words, we have to do so, and we have to fix that inside of us in order to create a healthy, thriving, vibrant, and alive Jewish experience. You are missing out on the Jewish experience if you're waiting for somebody else to do the job for you. If you're not being willing to take all this steel, all these instruments, all this material, and put it out to work. You are missing out on your Jewish experience. You don't know what Judaism is all about. Yeah, you never will if you won't do it. Judaism is a way of life. It's something wonderful. It's greater than everything else. When you come into Yeshiva, you're not learning Torah. You're not learning about Judaism. You are living it. You are Judaism. You are Judaism. You become a part of it. It's you. When you don't learn, guess what? For today, you weren't a Jew. Now, let's look a little bit about where's Yosef? Hey, Yosef. Let's look a little bit about Yosef and Yosef over there. So let's look a little bit about what we can learn further from the menorah that we kind of neglect. So the menorah is such a complete action. It's such a complete task, right, Yeshua, that stands against the whole entire Torah. And we could see that in the way of a remez. The menorah was made out of Shiva Kanim, 7 branches, call it. It had 9 flowers, 11 buttons, they call it kaftorim, and 22 goblets, gvim. If you want to look further into details, look in Sefer Shemot over there. And there's a tremendous remez here about the spiritual aspects of the menorah itself. Those numbers come to tell us about the first psukim on the five books of Moses and the 5 books of the Torah. In the first pasuk of Bereshit, there are 7 words. Keneged Sheva Kanim, for the branches. First pasuk of Sefer Shemot, there are 11 words against the 11 kaftorim of the menorah. In the first pasuk of Sefer Vayikra, there are 9 words against the 9 flowers, the parachim, that they had there. In the first pasuk of Sefer Dvarim, there are 22 words against the 22 gviim, goblets at the head. And at the end, in the first pasuk of Sefer Bamidbar, there are 17 words against the 17 tfachim of the height of the menorah. So therefore, it says here, when the menorah lights, The menorah lights with the koach, with the power of the whole entire Torah, literally. That's why the light of the menorah is representing the spiritual light, which is the light of the Torah, is the same thing. It's ze'ol ve'ze'ol. We're not talking about electricity light, we're talking about something else. Beyond that, even the parts of the menorah, the 7 branches and so on and so forth, all the numbers that we said, come up to the total number of 49. 49, which is exactly the amount of days the Bnei Israel walked from Mitzrayim until they received the Torah in Har Sinai. You see again the connection between the Torah and the menorah. So the Arizal tells us that when they walked for 49 days, they worked towards the menorah to receive the Torah. And this is Kabbalat HaMenorah Shema'ira Lekol Echad Ve'echad Me'am Israel. The light of the menorah shed a spiritual light on each one of Israel. So you see, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes sure over there that if Chas v'Shalom there won't be a menorah, there will be a Torah. Now you understand that even though the Chag of Chanukah was done really because of inauguration of the Mizbeach, we always talk about the menorah because the battle of the Chashmonaim was really for the Torah. It's the same thing. And this is let's talk now a little bit further about the chibur, the connection of Am Yisrael. So just like as the menorah, Am Yisrael also needs to come together to become one unit. Miksha achat, one solid casted piece of gold. So the Mekubalim come and tell us that Am Yisrael is one neshama with many nitzasot, with many sparks to it. And we need to be able to collect all the sparks, all these pieces of gold into one solid piece, into one solid spiritual entity in the shape of the menorah. That menorah, and that's why you see, where's the menorah? We have it over there, right? The menorah is a shiviti and so on and so forth, and all these things come because of that. And that menorah is not considered to be pieces. This is, we casted the flowers, we casted this, we put it together. No, it's one big piece. It's davar shalem. It's a one whole homogeneous thing, but it has many details in it, different details in it, but it's one piece. It's one piece. So is Am Yisrael. So when Am Yisrael walked in the Midbar, they got to so-called revealed all the different chalakim, all the different levels of the menorah, of course, which is 49. Of course, as we said, when they received the Torah, that was actually the light. And these are the days they received, and they were able to reveal the full capacity of the spiritual ability, to the point, as the Medrash tells us, that when they stood in Har Sinai, they were able to reach the level of Adam HaRishon before the sin. And that's what we call Shi'ur Koma. The total sum of magnitude of spiritual entity was all gathered in Am Yisrael because they stood together, received the Torah. That was exactly how it was over there. As it says to us, Panim befanim diber Hashem imachem betoch ha'esh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to you from the fire on the mountain, face to face. Panim befanim, which is the highest level of all 4 levels of spiritual connection. And it's referred to Moshe Rabbeinu. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to him, he spoke to him in the same manner. So there are different levels of connection, interaction with HaKadosh Baruch Hu on the spiritual level. The highest one is Panim Befanim. So in Har Sinai, Am Yisrael was at that level. And as they say, Kifnei HaMenorah Shelemala. As the menorah is up in Shamayim, because we know whatever is down here exists also over there. So they receive the shape of the menorah of Shamayim. That's what it says, El Pnei HaMenorah. El Pnei HaMenorah, which means that menorah, it reflects the menorah over there. However, this was only at that time. Our job is to reach this level again. Each and every one of us. That's why we cannot give up on any Jew out there. That's why I said to you, every Jew that gets off the derech, every Jew that we lose, there is so much work for us to do. That is one thing for sure. You know that Am Yisrael was never going to be fired from this job. We have to do the job. So not that there are so many people so-called off the derech, it requires each and every one of us to do even extra to finish the job. We have to do it. You can't say, well, let somebody else do it. You have to do it, and you have to do it, and all of us have to do it. So if today, how many people live, for example, in our community? I don't know, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, 4,000 people. I don't know, whatever 1,000 people live here. Maybe you should do a survey. If you're going to take all these numbers of people that live, Jewish people, not only Bukharim and Sfaradim, and everybody, conservative and reform and not affiliated and not associated, alien, legal and illegal, all Jews. And then you compare to the number of people that are actually learning. Then you're going to ask yourself a question, how can I leave the Bet Medrash when there's so much work for me to do? That is your responsibility. Yes, they don't do what they were supposed to be doing, but that's not your concern. You need to do what you need to do and develop the responsibility for them. You need to help them. That's the ahava that you have also for them. And that's why we need to reveal this again. So, and we should know that there's no lacking in the spiritual, there's no lacking. Whatever was one time spiritually exists forever, because that's the entity of a spiritual and being. It's eternal. There's no beginning or an end. It exists forever, and that's what we learn in Shavuot. And that's why a person needs to stand every single day, like to see he comes out from Har Sinai. That's why a bat kol comes out every day michorev ואומרת אוי להם בנים שובבים ועזבו את תורתי. The Torah is waiting every single day to be so-called received again by you in Har Sinai. And guess what? There's nobody home to receive it. Nobody's there. And that creates tremendous disharmony in the world. And if we are talking about, and that's why the menorah that would lit forever, also lit them, but we need to elevate the lights. It's lit, but we need to do behalotcha, when you lift it up. And if the last parasha ends with the korbanot of the Nesiim during the time of the inauguration of the Mishkan, Rashi says, "K'shera'a Aaron chanukat hanesiim, chalsha da'ato shelo yeya imayem b'chanukah." So when Aaron saw that all Nesiim are breathing, he said, "Wow, I'm weak. There's nothing for me. What am I to? It's probably because what I've done." Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, "Chayecha. Don't worry, Shelcha gadol mishelahem, she'ata madlik umeitiv hanerot." You light the candles, and that light of the candles basically will stand forever. So is the menorah. We need together reach this level of Koma Shlema. So the Mekubalim tell us that this is the tikkun, this is the tikkun of our time, and that's what we must do. And everybody should internalize that, and you should rejoice on this avodah, and you be sameach that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you this opportunity to do mitzvot, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the opportunity to learn Torah, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the opportunity to teach and to guide and to help in all matters. And that is a tremendous thing. And you should really rejoice when you get up in the morning. You says, Baruch Hashem, I have something to live for. If you go to work and you don't like your work, and every day you get up in the morning and says, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to go back to work. I'm going to tell you, it is going to become a disaster. I mean, if you get up in the morning, regardless of how hard your work is, every morning you say, Baruch Hashem, I have a job, I'm going to work, I can, right? So the job immediately becomes easier. You also don't look at Avodat HaMitzvot as a Torah, chas v'shalom, as a burden. You should run towards it. That's why you should never be late for a minyan. That's why you should look the earliest minyan, not the latest minyan. That's why on Shabbat, there's no room for minyan at 9 o'clock, Rabotai. You need to do it quickly. And that's why minyan on Shabbat should be longer, but not that long, because I have other mitzvot to do. I need to make kiddush, not to eat. I need to make kiddush. I want to say Baruch Atah. I want to sit down and rest a little bit, and then come to the Bet Medrash and learn. It's another mitzvah. I want all my life to be connected as one big task of running and bringing things closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, doing Behaletcha, when you lift it up, the elevation has to be ours. Nobody is going to make you do that. You have to be self-propelled. You have to bring it up yourself. That is the avodah ruchanit, spiritual work that we're all missing. This is the most important component in our existence. And the component is spiritual joy. If you don't have it, you won't make it. That's guaranteed. So let's try to find this within ourselves. Let's jump on every mitzvah that we have. When you hear somebody says a bracha, you got to say amen, because that's a mitzvah as well. You're acknowledging that. And Be'ezrat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have rachamim on us. And again, there will be Leilui Nishmat Shlomo ben Biti and Gedalia Moreno ben Matilda. Kadosh Baruch Hu will have rachamim on them and on all of us, on Kol Am Yisrael. V'yoshienu v'yivnei ben English be'amenu. Amen. Kenei Ratzon. Amen.